Starting us off at number 10, Stacey Dash and Jeffrey Marty. Clueless star Stacey Dash and her husband Jeffrey Marty have decided to call it quits after 2 years of marriage. Stacey and Jeffrey got married back in April 2018, just 10 days after meeting each other, and have shared their ups and downs over the last 2 years. Man, 10 days and you're married? You know you're head over heels for this person when you marry them just after over a week. Stacey took to her Instagram to share the news of her split with her fans back in April of this year. Following the announcement of their divorce, fans were quick to point out that this comes just shortly after Dash was arrested for alleged domestic violence, to which she pleaded not guilty. There's been no word from Jeffrey on the divorce proceedings, but Stacey has wished him well, citing that she feels that this is for the best. Coming in at number 9, Tracy Morgan and Megan Wallover. Tracy Morgan and wife Megan Wallover are splitting up 5 years after getting married. Morgan issued a statement in July saying that this is a challenging time for the couple and asking for their privacy at the moment. Their love story sounds like something out of a movie. Tracy saying that he knew from the moment he saw her that they would get married, and even his struggle with rehabilitating after his major crash in 2015 to be able to walk his wife down the aisle. Their split came as a surprise to many, and a cause has not been issued. The couple have a child together who's 7 and are looking forward to co-parenting. At number 8, Nicole Young and Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre and longtime partner Nicole Young are getting a divorce after nearly 25 years of marriage. The California rap icon and his wife filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. It's hard to think of what kind of irreconcilable differences would end a 24-year marriage. I'm thinking it's quarantine taking its toll on them like it has for so many other couples, but it must have been a huge issue to call it quits like that. They seem to have such a strong relationship. Their divorce has caused quite the stir lately in regards to their prenup. Nicole claims that Dre ripped up their prenuptial agreement after feeling badly about pressuring her into signing it. So technically there's no prenup since it was destroyed. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't make assumptions as to how things work in that kind of situation, but Nicole is using that as her argument to claim half of Dre's $800 million empire. The couple also have 2 kids, but they're adults, so there's no need for child support payments to be made. Basically, this is gonna be a pretty messy breakup since there's so much money at stake. In the meantime, we just have to watch it all unfold.
Number 7, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Just as Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie began with a bang on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, their marriage abruptly dissolved in the same manner. The longtime couple got engaged in 2012 and then got married in 2014 at their French chateau. However, after 11 years of being together, the couple decided to split for the health of their family. Pitt then released his own statement saying he was very saddened by the matter, and the only thing that mattered now was the well-being of the couple's children. On September 19th of 2016, Jolie filed divorce papers citing irreconcilable differences and requesting sole physical custody of their 6 children. As soon as the news broke, it didn't take long for gifs and memes to flood the internet. Stars were also quick to chime in. Chrissy Teigen tweeted, "Brad and Angelina, how am I supposed to go to work today?" Adele even dedicated her NYC concert to the former couple by saying, "I need to address the elephant in the room, but it's the end of an era." Since announcing the divorce, Angelina has made some pretty serious claims against Brad Pitt, and Brad has stayed pretty quiet on the matter. As the couple first stated to keep things between their divorce private, this turned out to not be the case, as the divorce has since been smeared across the tabloids since 2016, as the two have since yet to finalize matters officially. Number 6, Megan Fox and Brian Austin Green. On November 25th, 2020, Megan Fox filed for divorce from Brian Austin Green. At the time, she claimed the two have been separated since November of 2019. After being married for 10 years, the actress ultimately decided to file for divorce, as it was a decision that was a long time coming, especially now that she was in a relationship with MGK. Kelly and Fox met on the film Midnight in the Switchgrass in 2019. In court papers, Megan asked for joint legal and physical custody of her and Green's sons. She also asked to terminate the ability for either her or Green to seek spousal support. However, even though Green agreed to the custody request, he still wanted spousal support to be a possibility. With Fox moving on and looking forward to her future with MGK, Brian has had a lot to say about the matter, even claiming that Megan has been an absent mother in her kids' lives. Hopefully these two can put their differences aside for their children's sake. Number 5, Tom Cruise and Katy Holmes. Back in 2012, former power couple Tom Cruise and Katy Holmes announced to the world they were getting divorced after 6 years of marriage. Now, this split was shocking to everyone throughout the world of show business, and it sparked many rumors and speculations as to why the couple split. One of the biggest rumors of the pair's divorce was that Katy wanted to remove herself and their daughter Suri from any involvement with the Church of Scientology. Cruise then later confirms that the reason his ex-wife filed for divorce came down to the controversial religion itself. With Cruz and Holmes divorced, Holmes was awarded sole custody of Surrey, and reportedly that included an ironclad ruling that Surrey would not be exposed to anything Scientology related. Number 4. Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. Married for only 15 months, the world was shocked when Amber Heard filed for divorce from Johnny Depp in May of 2016. But what shocked the world even more was the claims that led to the divorce. Depp's and Heard's marriage has been swept across the tabloids since 2016, and one of the most recent trials to highlight the whole relationship would be Johnny Depp's defamation trial. While both stars played a huge part in why their relationship didn't work out, following events later to come to light would leave the world shaken with disbelief. Just after Heard filed for divorce, she placed a temporary restraining order on Depp, claiming that the two had gotten into an altercation. When the order expired, the couple was finally able to reach an agreement in August of 2016. Heard announced she would donate her $7 million divorce settlement to charities. Their divorce was then finalized in January of 2017. The two have since been in heated court cases that don't seem to be ending anytime soon.
In at 3, Kacey Musgraves and Rustin Kelly. After tying the knot back in October 2017, Kacey Musgraves and Rustin Kelly have filed for divorce. As yet another quarantine divorce who cited irreconcilable differences for their split, Kacey and Rustin seem to be on pretty decent terms. The couple has been cited to still have love and respect for one another following their files for divorce in July. The couple seems to be on such good terms following the breakup that they've indicated to the courts that they would be dividing their assets themselves without the guidance of the court system. This seems to look good for Kacey and Rustin, since not many divorces end in such a civil manner, to allow the two parties to take care of their assets themselves. Following their divorce announcement, Kacey and Rustin have shut down any scrutiny of the two, saying that their love for each other goes far beyond the relationship and that their soul connection is something that can never be erased. They continue to say that though they are parting ways in marriage, that they will remain true friends for the rest of their lives. They hold no anger or contempt against each other and seem to be navigating their divorce smoothly. Yet another good example that all divorces aren't ugly. Coming close to the end of number 2, Julianne Hough and Brooks Laich. After 3 years of marriage, Julianne Hough and Brooks Laich called it quits when they announced their separation back in May. Yet another quarantine breakup to add to the books. In a joint statement, the couple tells fans that they've decided together that they would separate despite sharing an abundance of love and respect for one another. Now, the couple hasn't officially divorced yet, but they say that they're taking their time and are in no rush to get the paperwork done with. Someone close to the couple stated that Julianne is taking her time with the decision, as being in lockdown brought up a lot of feelings for her. Brooks, on the other hand, is ready to move on. They're planning to file together, but Brooks is understanding of her situation and is giving her the time she needs to make her decision. I admire their unity in this situation. Being in the midst of a public breakup doesn't seem to be an easy thing, so the fact that they're being patient with one another and not speaking ill of each other speaks volumes on their maturity in this. And finally at number 1, Vanessa Morgan and Michael Kopech. Following a pregnancy announcement and just 6 months of marriage, Vanessa Morgan and Michael Kopech have filed for divorce. After nearly a year of dating, Vanessa and Michael tied the knot in January of this year. Then in June, Vanessa announced her pregnancy on Instagram, saying that she was overjoyed to be welcoming her baby boy in the coming winter. The internet was overjoyed to hear of the pregnancy, but the celebration soon turned sour, as just days after the announcement, it was revealed that Vanessa and husband Michael had filed for divorce. Michael and Vanessa have yet to comment on the divorce, but that hasn't stopped fans from speculating. Many fans have expressed their concern that someone was involved in an affair, many of those fans believing that it was Michael. Fans were quick to point out that in the photos Vanessa posted on her Instagram of her gender reveal party, Michael wasn't seen in any of them. Others pointed out the language used in the pregnancy announcement, citing that Vanessa referred to the baby as my and not ours, leading people to believe that Michael is no longer in the picture. Either way, it's sad to see a marriage fall apart, especially when a new baby's on the way. We have yet to hear any more on the story, but I'm sure it'll only be a matter of time until fans get some more answers.
At number 9, we have Bill Gates and Melinda Gates. After being married for 27 years, the couple split due to the fact they believed that they couldn't grow as a couple into the next phase of their lives. Now, court documents did show that the two had a private separation agreement in place, but not a prenup. Since the two shared so much of their professional life together, untangling their assets definitely became a complicated process. The couple had several properties, and Bill had a net worth of around $152 billion prior to the divorce, meaning he and Melinda could now each be only worth $76 billion. The couple also shares a handful of luxury planes and cars, and they run their namesake foundation, which is worth more than $40 billion. Now, both have agreed to continue to work together at the foundation as they continue its mission of helping people around the world lead healthy, productive lives. If you're liking this video so far, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. At number 8, we have Jeff and Mackenzie Bezos. Jeff and Mackenzie's divorce settlement is the largest divorce settlement in history to ever occur. When the divorce settlement was made official, Jeff had to hand over a 4% stake in Amazon, and he also had to transfer Amazon shares worth $38 billion into Mackenzie's name. Now, Mackenzie is an author, and she's now become the 4th richest woman and has already promised to give away at least half of her fortune. Now, despite handing over a vast sum of money, Jeff will still remain the world's richest individual with a $118 billion fortune. He has also given $2 billion of his wealth to Bezos' Day One fund to help address homelessness and improve education for children in low-income families. Jeff also congratulated his former wife in a tweet, linking her Given Pledge letter, which encourages the world's richest people to commit to giving away at least half of their wealth to charity.
In at number 7, Mary-Kate Olsen and Oliver Sarkozy. Mary-Kate Olsen has filed for divorce from her husband of 5 years, Oliver Sarkozy. Olsen seemed to really want out of the relationship as she tried to file her divorce papers multiple times. The first attempt was back in April, but as a result of the pandemic, the courts wouldn't accept any paperwork unless it was an emergency divorce. Olsen then tried a second time to submit an emergency divorce filing, but was halted in May after the judge ruled that it was not an emergency matter. Olsen was finally successful in her third attempt filing just a week or so after her second attempt. As this was unfolding, Olsen's husband Oliver had allegedly terminated their lease, and Olsen was ordered to move from her home amidst the New York stay-at-home orders. The last few months seem to have been really chaotic for Mary-Kate, and her determination to end her marriage as soon as possible has some people worried about her well-being. We can't assume anything is wrong, but it still seems a little suspicious. Only time will tell if something comes of this frantic divorce proceeding. Coming into number 6, Kelly Clarkson and Brandon Blackstock. Kelly and husband Brandon Blackstock have decided to split after nearly 7 years of marriage. The duo work together on Kelly's talk show, The Kelly Clarkson Show, and they even have 2 kids together. Things on the outside seemed well, and they worked together, so that seemed to show that their marriage was strong. But now sources have revealed that they had a number of problems. On their divorce papers, they list the reason for divorce as to be determined or as irreconcilable differences, but we are being led to believe that it was the effects of quarantine that really pushed them over the edge. The two are seeking joint custody of their kids, but other than that, they don't really seem to agree on much else when it comes to their divorce proceedings. Clarkson has opted to refuse any spousal support, while her husband just checked other and doesn't have much to say about the monetary side of their divorce. Judging by how they've been reported to rarely agree on things, this divorce could become quite messy quite quickly. As those who are close with the couple say that on the outside they seem to have a perfect marriage, but that they definitely did not. It's a wonder as to how they even managed to work together on the show if things were that bad. Either way, I wish them luck as they continue through this. Halfway through at number 5, Jay Cutler and Kristin Cavallari. Jay Cutler and Kristin Cavallari have decided to end their 10-year marriage, citing irreconcilable differences. There's a lot of these. Following their divorce announcement in April of this year, fans started digging into what could have happened, and you know how they love to dig. Bringing it all the way back to 2011, fans began to look into what could have ended Jay and Kristin's marriage, starting with when Kristin briefly called off their engagement. She was cited saying that she didn't want to be the stay-at-home mom type, and that something had to change in order for her to go through with the wedding. Obviously, they worked things out and the couple were wed. Then, just recently on social media, there were allegations that Jay was having an affair with Kristin's best friend, though Kristin never bought into these rumors. All seemed well enough until the dreaded 2020 came along and brought quarantine along with it. Around April of this year, the two decided to call it quits. An insider claimed that they have simply grown apart and fallen out of love with each other, but some fans are beginning to think that there's more here to unravel. In her divorce filing, Kristin accused her husband of inappropriate marital conduct, and that such conduct is rendering their cohabitation unsafe and improper. As to what this inappropriate marital conduct is, we don't know, but one thing's for sure, their quarantine experience seemed to really put the pressure on their marital problems, and they just couldn't handle it.
At number 3, we have Harrison Ford and Melissa Matheson. Now, Harrison Ford and Melissa have been divorced now for 2 decades. However, their divorce still remains one of Hollywood's most expensive divorces. Now, the couple decided to part ways ultimately because they thought that the absence would make make their hearts grow fonder for each other. And after being married for 21 years, Melissa would file for a divorce in 2001. Since the couple never arranged a prenup agreement when they wed, there was a 3-year-long battle before they were able to reach a settlement. In 2004, Melissa would be awarded $85 million, and she would also be able to receive part of Harrison's future earnings from Indiana Jones and The Fugitive sales. At number 2, we have Adele and Simon Kanucki. Now, Adele and Simon's divorce had to be one of the messiest and unfair divorces Hollywood has ever seen for a while. Who can forget that photo of Adele screaming at Simon in tears when he took almost all of her money? When Adele finalized her divorce from Simon, she would have to pay the CEO a settlement of $140 million out of her $190 million net worth. Of course, when this news came to light, a lot of men were stoked at the prospect of Adele having to hand over $100 million and said Simon deserved the large amount. However, considering women are still paid less than men in most workplace settings, the fact that Adele had to fork over 2/3 of her hard-earned fortune is insane. What Adele's divorce has taught us is that no money is ever safe in a marriage. If you're a celebrity or a billionaire and you're thinking about getting married, make sure you get that prenup ready. At number 1, we have Princess Diana and King Charles. Now, it's no lie that Diana lost a lot when her time as a royal came to an end. When the royal marriage dissolved, it's clear that even princesses don't always have their fairy tale ending. After the two announced their separation in 1992, Queen Elizabeth would strip Diana's royal titles at the behalf of Charles' insistence, and Diana would then need to curtsies to anybody in the royal family, and this included her sons. Despite losing her royal title, Diana did gain some money. Now, neither side officially disclosed details of anything Diana would get. However, a newspaper would later leak that Diana would receive $22.5 million plus another $600,000 salary a year to pay for her private office.
Number 10. Chris Pratt and Anna Faris. When Chris Pratt and Anna Faris decided to announce their split after 8 years of being married, they shocked the world as this fairy tale romance came to an abrupt end. With the couple finalizing their divorce in October of 2018, Chris hinted in social media posts that the two haven't been happy for quite some time. As he said, "Anna and I are sad to announce we are legally separating. We tried hard for a long time and we were really disappointed. Our son has 2 parents who love him very much, and for his sake, we want to keep this situation as private as possible moving forward. We still have love for each other and will always cherish our time together and continue to have the deepest respect for one another." Ending things on a mutual note, both Chris and Anna have been able to remain on good terms and they continue to be great co-parents together. And friends, before we move on to this next spot on the list, let us know which divorce in the celebrity world completely shook your brain and you still are not over it down in the comments. Number 9. Jenna Dewan and Channing Tatum. Not so friendly exes Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan went from being Hollywood's it couple to divorced parents, and they haven't made it easy for others to determine whether or not they're on good terms with one another. The two actors began dating back in 2006 when they met on their movie set Step Up. By July of 2009, they tied the knot and began to grow their family, welcoming their first daughter in May of 2013. While the pair became a beloved celebrity couple by many, Jenna admitted in February of 2018 that the pair have struggled with their relationship like anyone else. She admitted they were not perfect and they had their fair share of disagreements. By April of 2018, the couple announced their split in a joint statement saying, "We have lovingly chosen to separate as a couple. We fell deeply in love so many years ago and have had a magical journey together." The couple then went on to say they were moving on different paths and ultimately decided it was best to be friends for the time being. Since the divorce, the exes have been co-parenting great together and there seems to be no drama between them, at least for now. Number 8. Liam Hemsworth and Miley Cyrus. Cyrus and Hemsworth both started seeing each other in 2008 when the pair met on the set of The Last Song. The pair then dated off and on before tying the knot in December of 2018, just after the wildfire destroyed their home in Malibu. In court documents obtained by E! News, Miley cited irreconcilable differences behind the reason for the actors' split. However, a month before their divorce was finalized, Miley opened up about why their relationship didn't last. According to Cyrus, the two only got married due to the trauma of losing their Malibu home in a fire. She went on to note that the two had been together since they were 16, and when their home burnt down, they felt like they had to get engaged. She added, "I just clung to what I had left of the house, which was me and him." Before ending the interview, Miley also noted that Liam and her had too much conflict, which led to the pair's split.
At number 7, we have Paul McCartney and Heather Mills. Now, Paul McCartney's divorce to Heather Mills cost him $48.7 million. The couple would call it quits in 2006, however their divorce wasn't complete until 2008, and once they finalized their divorce it came to a hefty penny for Paul. When all was said and done, Paul would have to pay Heather $48.7 million, and on top of that Heather would receive $70,000 a year for child support, which would later leave Paul to this day to say that his marriage to Heather was the biggest regret of his life. Ouch. To make matters worse, the media was constantly getting involved, and in 2007, while Heather was trying to speak at a charity campaign fundraiser, a reporter asked her if she was the woman that took Paul's money. At number 6, we have Mel Gibson and Robin Moore. In 2006, Robin decided to separate from her husband Mel after Mel was caught driving under the influence. At the time, Mel and Robin didn't have a prenup agreement, which meant she was entitled to walk away with at least half of his earnings that he made in the last 30 years they were married. With Mel's net worth being only $850 million at the time, Robin would be entitled to receive about $425 million. In addition, she would also pick up 50% of the pension benefits that Mel built up during the 31 years of marriage. During this settlement, it outlined his ex-wife would also get half of his film rights, and she was entitled to a split of his Directors Guild of America pension and half of the benefits he accumulated through their production company. At number 5, we have Denise Richards and Charlie Sheen. Now, Denise Richards and Charlie Sheen had a bumpy marriage, and Denise decided to pull the plug on their marriage when she was only a few months pregnant with the couple's second child. In 2006, their divorce was finalized, however, the couple hadn't signed a prenup. Considering Charlie appeared on 2.5 Men, making millions during their marriage, Charlie would be responsible to pay 50% of the earnings and assets made from their marriage. However, Denise's claimed that she never saw any of the sitcom money, and Charlie has over $450,000 in unpaid child support. According to several inside sources, Charlie pays Denise $80,000 to cover the cost of their $2, and he also pays the same amount to his other ex-wife, Brooke Mueller, for their 2 children. However, Charlie's once $220 million net worth is no longer in the state it was, and most of it went towards his risk behavior rather than to his spouses and children. At number 4, we have James Cameron and Linda Hamilton. After being married for 18 months, James and Linda decided to call off their marriage, and their divorce would cost James a hefty penny. Now, Linda would come forward to say that she and James had decided to split due to James having an affair with an actor from the Titanic while James was a film producer on the set. The love triangle would ultimately dissolve James's and Linda's marriage, and in 1999 the couple's divorce would be finalized and Linda would receive $50 million in a settlement.
Number 3, Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. After being married for nearly 7 years, Kim Kardashian officially filed divorce from her husband on February 19, 2021. On June 3, 2021, in an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, Kim opened up about the split from rapper Kanye West. After confronting the situation with her family, her sister Khloe then went on to note that Kim had been struggling privately behind the camera with her relationship. In now seen footage, you could see Kim crying as she says she can't do this anymore and that she has felt like she's been stuck in the relationship for years and can't understand why. The star then goes on to note that Kanye deserves someone that can go support his every move and go follow him all over the place and move to Wyoming. I can't do that and I feel like a failure in my 3rd marriage. It was sad to see Kim felt her relationship was moving in different directions and that she couldn't really do anything. Since the pair split, Kanye and her have hit headlines as they continue to disagree over certain aspects revolving around their lives. Number 2, Kris and Caitlyn Jenner. After being married for more than 2 decades, the momager Kris Jenner and 1976 Olympic gold medalist Caitlyn Jenner announced in late 2013 that they have been living apart for a year and they were officially filing for a divorce. At the time, many fans were quick to note that it looked like the pair split ultimately due to the fact that Caitlyn began opening up about her identity and transitioned to Caitlyn Jenner. However, Caitlyn squashed the rumors when she came to say, after 23 years, Kris and I went our separate directions. My identity, it was not a big part of us separating. There were so many other bigger issues out there. She claimed that her transition realization caused her to be more short-wired with Kris, and that it was that reason that caused their marriage to fail. Since the two's divorce, Kris has been really supportive to Caitlyn, and the pair support each other unconditionally. Number 1. Russell Brand and Katy Perry. Love at first sight. Back in September of 2009, it said that Russell Brand and Katy Perry hit it off while rehearsing for the MTV Video Music Awards. They soon started dating, and Russell popped the question on New Year's Eve during a trip to India. In October of 2010, the couple had a traditional Hindu wedding, also in India. Then the couple came to the quick realization they had different priorities in life. Documented in Katy Perry's documentary, Part of Me, the star was on her California Dreams tour, which caused the two to clash. While on tour, Katy received a text message where Russell told the pop star that he was filing for divorce. As Katy's world began to crumble beneath her feet, she was able to hold it together for her fans and complete the tour. Since the divorce, both have moved on, with Brand marrying Laura Gallagher and Perry marrying Orlando Bloom.